Over the years, I have taught Jones lots of skills and tricks, and that's why I was excited to take this training a little further and see if I could teach him the concept of matching objects. If you followed our low five and high five training, your cat should already know how to paw target a sticky note. The sticky note is fundamental to our training for this concept because it becomes your cat's favorite object, which helps when training the match. From our fist bump training, your cat should already paw target a container. This is an important behavior because this is how your cat indicates a correct match. The parking spot training is something you've probably already taught your cat if you followed our mat tutorial. I use the parking spot as a way to get Jones set up before I present the matches. It also allows me to have an easy way to reinforce him throughout this mind-stretching task. Choose your objects carefully. Objects should be big enough that they are obvious to the cat and stand out in the environment. They should also be distinct looking from one another. We are playing Search for the Sticky Note. How this game works is that Jones has to target the sticky note regardless of the distractions that I put down. Notice that I started with a distraction further away and moved it closer. This is one way to set Jones up for success. He's already pretty good at this game, so I put another distraction down. Again, the goal is that he walks past the other distractions and paw targets the note. Searching for the sticky note is an important part of our match training.
Yay! So smart.
In this step, I'm using the target stick to indicate to Jones which item he should paw target. At first, It's easy for him because he's already familiar with paw targeting these items. But what happens when I add in a new item? We want to make sure that the cat is comfortable paw targeting all the items that we use in the training. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem down the road. Watch him struggle as I try to introduce this new ball into the training. It's really important for us to work past this so he feels comfortable paw targeting it when we're working on the match. The object that Jones has to match is going to be presented up high. So I spend time teaching him to look and paw target the objects I present. We are starting to build our match training now. I ask him to touch the one up high and then touch the one down low. The goal here is that he touches the one up high and then automatically touches the one below it without me having to present the signal.
Good. Nice.
After practicing a few times, I start to delay my signal for the second one and give him a chance to do it on his own. Eventually, he figures it out and starts to present the second signal without my help.
Good.
In this step, I introduce the blocks. This is a new training challenge because the cat has to search on both blocks to see the item. If the cat gets the match wrong, we want to make sure it's not because they didn't see the object, but because they didn't understand the match concept. In this step, we introduce a dummy item. A dummy item is an item that never gets rewarded with a paw target. We never want the cat to touch this item. It's there as a distraction. It's there to show the cat that not every choice is the correct choice, and they have to seek out the item amongst the distractions. Choose the dummy item wisely. Notice how I chose a brush, a prickly brush, something that Jones is probably not going to want to touch.
Good.
We practice with the dummy item with lots of different objects in our training.
Nice.
We are bringing back the sticky note. Now there are 2 familiar items, so the training is getting harder. But because the cat is so familiar with the sticky note, we are setting them up for success.
Yay. You did it. Give me a high five for that one. You're so smart.
When Jones picks the wrong object, I take it away to help him get it right the next time. Then when I bring back the other object, I try to put it a little further back to help him make the correct choice again. Sometimes I go back and make sure he touches the object that I show him, so that I know that he sees the object he needs to find the match for.
Good.
Now the training is going to get a lot harder
Nice.
because we are working with 2 equally familiar objects. Neither one of them stands out in the environment, and he really has to start thinking about the choice that he's making.
Excellent.
We stayed at this step for a long time, practicing with lots of different objects, trying to build his confidence and understanding of the task.
Good.
I could tell that this training was giving Jones's brain a really good workout. When I started to see faster responses, I knew we were ready to move on.
Yes.
One way to challenge Jones's understanding of the match training is to introduce unfamiliar objects.
Nice.
You can see here when I introduce the sponge that it throws him off a little bit. He uses his nose more than usual to help him solve this problem.
Good job.
Now you can see I've added in a 3rd block, but the training stays the same. I get him used to searching all 3 blocks as a first step. Then I introduce the dummy item. Now that there's another block, I can introduce a 2nd dummy item. I warm him up with all these steps, making sure he can still locate the correct object. At this point, you can probably guess what's coming next. I bring back the sticky note.
Nicely done.
And here we are, challenging him with 3 familiar objects. Thanks for watching our training journey.